And welcome back to our complete coverage of today's 58th presidential inauguration.
A busy inauguration day ahead for Donald Trump, even before his swearing-in ceremony. In about 2 hours, the president-elect will attend an inaugural prayer breakfast.
Just a reminder, the Memorial Bridge is already closed, open only for pedestrian traffic.
Rain jacket, definitely the way to go, one with a hood. We've got more than 24 crews posted up across the city, so be sure to stay with us for continuing coverage.
The energy out here is palpable. I'm standing here at 12th and E, and you can see people are lining up, and they've been here for quite some time. So far this morning, we've heard people singing Amazing Grace. They've been praying, and they are waiting to get through this security checkpoint.
We are now on another inbound train here at Vienna, again heading back towards the city. And take a look at this. We have this lovely lady visiting here from Montana. She has all of her red, white, and blue on. You're up here this morning. Why was it important for you to be here on the train early this morning to get downtown?
I've actually been to every inauguration since Jimmy Carter in 1976.
Well, he's been making headlines since he announced that he was running for president all the way back in 2015. And today, Donald Trump will be named the 45th president of the United States. Our Amy O'Bear takes a look at the history and background of America's new leader.
I am officially running for president of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
Do you think that people maybe will realize the president's legacy later on, or do you think they already kind of realize it for what it is now?
When he was inaugurated in 2009, there was so much hope in the air, but there was a kind of fear in there, fear that you may be deported.
This is still peaceful, but it's certainly much louder, much more aggressive than what we've seen before. We tried to get through to the protesters, and they actually weren't letting me through with our photographer here. But if we walk over here, I want to show you how the police have all lined up here. You can see the guys just yelling into the officer's face here, certainly trying to agitate them.
It's just a peaceful protest. Just things get a little heated, but no one's here to hurt anybody. We're just here to just protest this BS happening in the White House today.
Look out! Go back! Watch out! Watch out!
And that protest situation now, we understand, Sam, some arrests being made. Sam, can you hear us?
Starting to get pushed around out there a little bit, it looks like, Sam.
Hey, guys, we're actually being pushed.
Step aside. Let's go. Step aside.
Get going.
Hold on. I got you. Wait.
Let her up.
Our photographer's being attacked right now.
Come on.
Hold on.
She's pressed.
I got it, Vanessa. You can let go.
You're right, Vanessa? Hey, she's wrapped. Come here, Vanessa. Let's get it. Come on. Watch your foot. Her cable.
But we instead are getting what looks like his cameraman getting shoved around there a lot. So Sam, can you hear us now? Are you guys okay?
Guys, I can hear you, but I'm going to have to walk with my photographer here. We were just attacked by the protesters. We were pushed over by, what is happening is they're creating a human blockade, and when Trump supporters come through, they try to, guys, we're going to have to send it back inside for, we'll check back with you in a few minutes.
Okay.
Take care of yourself, Sam.
Right.
Be careful.
And his photographer, we'll check back with him as soon as we can. On the right side now, you see this is the one we were waiting for. President-elect Donald Trump, his wife Melania Trump, meeting President Obama and the First Lady Michelle Obama in the formal exchange.
And you know, I just want to point out the juxtaposition of what you've just seen on your screen and the president, the current president, and the First Lady, Barack and Michelle Obama, leading by example. And what they have called for is peaceful protests and embracing our differences and seeing where this next administration might take us.
Coming through the U.S. Capitol as we speak, former President Bill Clinton and his wife Hillary Clinton, former Secretary of State and New York Senator and former Democratic nominee for president.
You can't help but think what is going through her head right now.
I mean, she's probably thinking, if things had gone a different way, I'd be walking down these steps, getting ready to take my oath of office
If we could take a wide shot of where we're standing, needless to say, not the crowds perhaps that have been expected, although we're still a little while away from the big moment of the actual swearing in.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
And yes, together, we will make America great again. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you.
I saw you after the speech, talking to you a little bit. You seemed moved by it. Describe how you're feeling right now and what it was feeling like to hear that speech.
I was awe-inspired with all the words of talking about faith and love for country and honoring America again, and I had chills throughout my body. I pray that we all come together and get past this division.
What they're doing is breaking out these plate glass windows. This is a Bank of America and a Starbucks. There's one man who even takes a trash can and actually uses that to break out the window. This is just one protest group. This is what was going on when the inauguration was first getting underway. So while everything on television might have looked like it was going on smoothly, this is what was happening just outside of that secure perimeter.
This is 395 right here, and one of the objectives of a lot of protesters, they want to make their mark, they want to get on television. The way to do that is to make something happen, and by shutting down 395, that is definitely one way of doing it.
It's a tale of three Washingtons, right, on this screen. We have protests erupting all over the city. We have an elegant luncheon with the new First Family, and we have the former First Family getting ready to take off for vacation.
And everything you're seeing here on your picture on the left side, that's inside the perimeter.
Right.
Anything close to the parade route, you're talking about the perimeter. We have not heard or seen of anything that's happened in there, and there's good reason for that.
If we could walk through the park over here and show you where another group of protesters have been held by police up against this building. You can see the American flag out there. They've been held up there by police for the better part of an hour and a half. We understand that they were marching down 12th Street and there was some destruction of property. Police came in, cornered them, and maybe if we can get close enough, we could see the protesters on the corner over there being held by police. There goes another flash bomb. I tell you, I've been doing this for a while, and I don't think I've ever experienced anything like this. I've done the IMF protests, the World Bank protests here in D.C., which were very big, but I haven't seen a confrontation like this before.
All right, we're seeing people running now, Horace. Are you seeing this?
So those are the officers.
Your vantage point?
Yeah, when the officers are moving in. Yeah, I don't think he can see it from where he's standing right there on the left side of your screen. That's a camera that's further down the road.
Right.
And the explosions that Horace has been telling us about, those are tear gas canisters that are going off, and you can see the gas to the left side of your screen further down the street. And the police, when they move, they will not move one at a time. They will move as an entire group. They call it a skirmish line. That line will go forward, and they're trying to move or corral the protesters. They're very well organized. You have the folks that are the agitators, the ones that are throwing things and causing the trouble. There are others that are videotaping and documenting what's taking place. And then they have medics in the group to treat the needs of the folks who are overcome with some of the tear gas or some of this pepper spray. But again, in this case, when they started throwing concrete blocks at the officers, that's the line you just can't cross.
The situation is not under control down here.
Here's the video Jonathan was talking about of protesters there with pieces of cement, and they're smashing it onto the ground.
Yeah, pulling up the
the
sidewalk there and busting them up in pieces.
So they can throw them.
And this is live images here downtown.
These are the kinds of things that really, this is when somebody gets really badly hurt.
Yeah, I think we have an injured officer who's being brought up the street right now.
And that's where you see now the riot police with their shields up are just going to push into the protesters and get them further away from the secure area where the parade is taking place.
The protesters out here have gotten together a bunch of benches, trash cans, as you can see, and have lit them on fire. This has been going on for the last 5 minutes or so. Take a look at these vehicles here. People have been vandalizing cars that are parked along the street. This looks like a media vehicle.
You know what?
You can
Here
see
at McPherson's
cracked, and even over here to the left, limos vandalized, tagged as well. You can see the spray paint on the side. Inside, you can see, somebody was ready to enjoy this inauguration day, and now that's been ruined. And I showed you that limo earlier. Well, take a look. people are actually looting that limo now. They were going inside, pulling out alcohol and water. You might see some people drinking water now, little bottles. Those bottles are from this limo that was parked here at the corner of 13th and K. People are taking selfies in it. Looks like some people are inside it right now, recording some video. And obviously they don't have the right to be in there right now. Looks like somebody just got in the front seat, as a matter of fact. So people are getting they're getting wild out here.
Did you come out here for violence?
I did not. I came out here to make a point that there's a lot of people that are really angry because he's president, because he's a bigot and a racist, and he's not going to be a good president for all the people. A lot of people are going to be in danger. I just came out here to make a point and let my voice be heard, but not for violence.
You didn't expect to see this?
No.
We've got some video of the protesters as they took over a limousine that just happened to be parked in the area, smashing the windows, setting it on fire.
Seeing here, Donald Trump and his son Barron and Melania got out of the vehicle and are now walking. We knew this might happen. Let's take a look.
Whether it was met with elation or a clear opposite, for many it's a moment few would have predicted just 1 year ago. A man who'd never run for office in his life, now holding the highest one.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
The path here may have seemed improbable, but the former reality show star and businessman knew his audience, and his catchphrase resonated in a way little else could.
You came by the tens of millions to become part of a historic movement, the likes of which the world has never seen before.
Middle America was not just ready for, but demanded a departure from traditional Washington, and then candidate Donald Trump delivered.
The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer.
Whether they're sheet metal workers, union painters, and they just felt left behind by the Democratic Party. And so when Trump came around, it was a clear choice.
Especially in Illinois, because our state has been completely so run down by both Democrats and Republicans.
Concerns that carried over into votes. He dominated among working class whites and swept states across the Rust Belt.
I think he reaches out to the American people. I think we're struggling, and I think that's what he's all about.
Instead of sending all our money overseas and working on, bringing 500,000 refugees here and things like that. That's just my opinion, and I know a lot of my friends feel the same way.
For those who don't, it fostered division, a national split. But one a new president, Trump and supporters are vowing to mend.
We're here in support of, unity, whatever it takes to get it together. The country is in an uproar, and we need to fix it.
In the middle of this protest, something happened that really hit home here at ABC 7 News. Our photographer, Vanessa Kulhoff, this morning was out just doing her job, and she was injured covering some of the protests on the streets of D.C. As Scott Taylor reports, she is going to be okay.
All of us watching live when our reporters Sam Sweeney and photojournalist Vanessa Kulhoff covering the protest are right in the middle of a standoff in Northwest D.C. near the National Mall. Protesters creating a human barricade attempting to block access to the inauguration. Suddenly something goes terribly wrong when a Trump supporter tries to cross the line.
We understand, Sam, some arrests being made. Sam, can you hear us?
Starting to get pushed around out there a little bit, it looks like, Sam.
Hey, guys, we're actually being pushed. Step aside. Let's go. Step aside. Get going. Hold on. I got you. Wait. Judge, let her up.
The photographer, Vanessa, who I was working with, lined up the shot. We were ready to go. And at that split second is when a Trump supporter came in, tried to break the barrier, and the pushing and the shoving started. Maybe a half dozen to a dozen police officers came in, tried to break it up, make room. calm the situation, and that's when they were getting shoved, the protesters were getting shoved, the Trump supporter was getting shoved, and it just became an ugly situation real quick.
Sam okay, but her colleague Vanessa knocked over and injured. Police moving quickly.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I'm so filled with faith.
I'm hopeful. We are transferring power and giving it back to you, the people.
I just knew I had to be here.
We're going to do so much better than we've been doing.
We will make America great again. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Right now at 6 o'clock, a tale of two Washingtons. On one side, President Donald Trump shaking hands with his campaign rival Hillary Clinton. On the other, protests throughout the city, some turning violent. Jonathan Elias and Allison Starling lead our coverage tonight, overlooking the Capitol building. Jonathan, Allison?
Hi, Maureen, and good evening to you. We want to begin now with the breaking news that's happening. Yet another round of protests are currently underway.
What you see in the video is some of the folks going to some of the balls around here, having liquid thrown on them. You had protesters on the side just screaming their lungs out at those folks, and things got a little scary there for a while because some of the protesters actually ran into the Marriott Marquis where they're actually having an Illinois State ball, but some are also going to the Freedom and Liberty balls, which are in the convention center near here. As they did, some of the protesters formed a line with their elbows, and what they did was as they formed that line with their elbows, the police kind of ripped them, basically had to grab them and drag them apart. So things got very volatile there for a while as you had this mix of police, ball goers, and then also protesters who had been marching through the streets. Let me show you them marching through the streets, because this was video taken a little before that. We were walking along with some of the protesters as they went basically in a big circle throughout Northwest here. At one point they came close to the convention center and the police would not let them go any further south. At that point, again, things got volatile. A police car actually pulled up at one point. Guys with a baton came up, police officers. Our photographer, Ben, actually fell over at one point. He was fine, thankfully, but he fell over at one point and got back up. So you see, it was very, very tense there, but the line held for the police there, and they weren't allowed to get within a couple blocks of the convention center.
National and local news stations captured images of this small group of protesters throwing rocks and bricks at our officers. Thankfully, they were equipped with state-of-the-art protective gear, which prevented more serious injuries. The criminal actors involved in the earlier incidents were arrested and charged with rioting. In all, we have arrested 217 people.
Well, we did it. We began this journey, and they said we and me, we didn't have a chance, but we knew we were going to win, and we won.
And more, much more than